Karibu tena. Basi moja kwa moja na kupeleka ama tuingie katika sehemu yetu ya leo nyanjani, ambapo hii leo John Juma atakuwa na kueleza kuhusiana na kuangaliwa kwa bajeti ya kaunti ya Mombasa na siasa zinazozingira swala hilo.
Ni kikao ambacho kimeandaliwa na afisi ya seneta wa Mombasa Hassan Omar, kikao ambacho dhamira yake ni kutathmini bajeti ya Mombasa na matumizi ya fedha zake. Kikao ambacho kimewaleta pamoja wasomi, wakereketwa wa masuala ya kifedha pamoja na wadau mbalimbali katika kaunti ya Mombasa.
We expect Mombasa is it's an urban city, or it's a city. And therefore, we should see revenue commensurate. If you look at this graph, Mombasa should be somewhere here. Because you see, after Nairobi, we have Mombasa, and therefore, we should not see small counties like Narok or even Kiambu beating Mombasa.
Suala ambalo limezua mjadala ni madai ya seneta wa Mombasa Hassan Omar kwamba lipo pendekezo la kaunti ya Mombasa kununua nyumba ambayo itatumiwa kama makazi ya gavana kwa gharama ya shilingi milioni 390.
I saw purchase of residential. The only residential I know, or I assume that the county will be buying, and we know that the governor does not have a residential, is the governor's residence, which is provided at 390 million. So I've told the governor, when I assume governor next year, I do not need a 390 million house. You guys know where I live humbly. So I will live within the expectations and the realities of our county. The economic reality right now does not allow us to have that type of wastage. You buy massive cars, four-wheel drives, off-road cars. Which off-road is there in Mombasa? This is a county where you can use a small Toyota to get anywhere.
Hata hivyo, afisa anayesimamia wizara ya fedha katika kaunti ya Mombasa amepuzilia mbali madai hayo, akisema kwamba si ya kweli na kwamba lililopo kwa sasa ni malimbikizi ya madeni ambayo hayajalipwa ndiyo yanafika kiwango cha pesa hizo ambazo seneta anataja.
I think it's only fair that when a budget is read, it's read in its whole entirety. There is a vote for residential, but it says creditors. In a budget, there's no vote called pending bills. That does not exist. But there is creditors. So if you look at that particular vote that was brought to our attention, it is actually a creditors vote, which means that the projects which we started last year, which include the construction of ECDs, the construction of hospitals, need to still be paid for, and that is the vote that will be used to pay for those projects.
Mjadala zaidi unaonekana kutokota, huku maafisa wa kaunti ya Mombasa wakisema kwamba hawajakaribishwa rasmi kwenye kikao hiki na wanatazama hii kama njia ya kupuziliwa mbali, na mjadala huu basi hautazaa matunda yenye lengo la kuboresha ugatuzi katika kaunti ya Mombasa.
The idea of pointing a finger at a time when we are talking about equity, when we're at a time when we're talking about the dignity of their lives is in itself misplaced. And we must also remember that if we're going to talk about equity, then all players must be around the table. You cannot speak about a process that involves key integral players and speak about them as though they are bystanders. We can't be talking about equity if there's a lack of respect in that conversation. So if we're going to debate, let's have a debate and let's have a strong debate. Because at the end of the day, this whole process is about the dignity of our mothers, the dignity of our children, the dignity of our young people, to ensure that what we do is we embark on a process that enables resources to empower them from the grassroots. This is essentially what equity is about. But when we begin to talk about it in the
Swala la ukusanyaji ushuru katika kaunti ya Mombasa haijapiga hatua kwa kiwango ambacho kilihitajika. Kadhalika anasema kwamba kaunti ya Mombasa inatumia fedha zake nyingi kulipa mishahara ya wafanyikazi. Waziri wa fedha katika kaunti hii akisema kwamba kaunti hii inayo zaidi ya wafanyikazi 4,200.
Salaries are taking much of the resources for Mombasa. My suggestion on, honest, I would request if the Mombasa County can rationalize these numbers. We may not achieve much. I know it's biting the bullet to talk about rationalizing stuff, but the long run, we will have to do something about the numbers you have. Look at the effectiveness of the staff you have, because if you don't rationalize, then it means the wage bill will still continue.
We've had the devolved functions coming with staff, and that's health and agriculture. This is a burden that we inherited through the municipality and also carried over once devolved functions came to the county. So this is a discussion that most counties are grappling with, and it's unfair to compare us to counties like Turkana, who were not former cities, and therefore have a slimmer personnel emolument percentage in their budget.
And then what is most unethical is you've made the cost of doing business totally unbearable for Mama Mboga. You speak that you know about Mama Mboga, then you tell Mama Mboga you make the cost of doing business for her. You know the levies. Totally impossible. So you take the levies from Mama Mboga to finance your lavish spending and living. That's immorality. That's what we call benefiting from the blood and the sweat of the poor. So all commentators in the social justice sector know that this budget is not pro-poor. So you tax Mama Mboga so that you can finance these CCs to come and waste time here because they were told to come here and probably respond.
Kwa mengi yatakayojiri kwenye kikao hiki, basi tutakujuza katika taarifa zetu zijazo. John Juma, KTN News, Mombasa.
Na mtazamaji kutoka Mombasa, basi sina budi la kutamatisha taarifa za leo mashinani. Nitarejea hivi punde na yanayojiri. Endelea kuwa nasi.